Home Israel, it's your boy New Breed coming through with another live stream. Welcome to another broadcast. In this particular video, we're going to talk about the importance of being resilient men. That's right. A very well needed video in this current social climate. We need videos like this one. I see y'all rolling in the chat pretty quick. What's up, Sparky? I see you, bro. Imani777, Jamie Rios, Leanne Diamond, King C3, salute family. Lachia Coleman's in here. Okay, we got the whole squad in the building. Yes, indeed. All praises to the Most High, the God of Israel, for bringing us another glorious day. This particular stream here is going to be jam-packed, full of edification. So hit the thumbs up on the way in. Allow YouTube to send those notifications out. We got some very pertinent key points that we want to definitely speak on. All right? I see y'all. I love y'all. All praises. Now, this video is so very timely because if you look at society right now as a whole, there's a battle going on. There's a battle against masculinity. I mean, the battle is so blunt and outright, I don't see how anybody can't see it. There was a commercial that aired not too long ago. It was a wireless commercial where they had Satan on the commercial. I actually played that in a previous stream. And Satan made a joke and he said, let's spend millions of dollars on marketing campaigns to basically destroy men or to shine men in a negative light. All right? Let's use ad campaigns to basically emasculate society. And I reacted to that video, but I kind of wanted to build upon that even more because there's layers to it. In this particular video, I want to speak in various dynamics when it comes to this emasculation agenda. And also I want to give some words of motivation to all you brothers out there, all you men out there, all you godly men, all you men of the Most High God. There's certain reminders that we need. And the Lord gave me a word to speak today. So I'm going to speak it. You know, there's something that all men of God have in common. There's something that we all have in common. And that is we understand and know what our driving motivating force is. We don't dwindle. We don't sway to the left or the right. We know what it is we believe, and we know where we're headed. You know, every godly man of the past, from your Malcolm X's, to your Martin Luther Kings, to your Marcus Garveys, to your Huey P. Newtons, to all of your political prisoners and social heroes, our figures, they all knew what their motives were. They all knew what their motives were. See, in this world, brothers, you got to understand that there's so much temptation in this world. Sometimes your motives can be tested. Sometimes your motives can be tested because there's so much temptation. And you'll get to the point where you're building something and Satan is able to come in and take over what you building. And that's why a lot of these brothers end up selling their souls, man. A lot of these brothers end up compromising their empire and their legacy and ending up signing on that dotted line with Satan. And you brothers got to understand that there's a fight, there's a battle. If you notice, a lot of these entertainers, a lot of these rappers, artists, they start being really feminine. You know, you had people that used to be OGs and gangsters, like Snoop Dogg, for an example. You have him start painting his nails, getting pedicures and making that fly. get little diamonds and rubies in his fingernails, you know, making that be what you call, you know, the new wave, right? And you have people like Kid Cudi throwing on a dress. You know, you'll see all these men, right, emasculating themselves. Men who started off to be masculine men, right? You'll see all of them compromising. That's because Satan, they let Satan in. And you got some of these people, they can't wait. They can't wait to sell out to Satan. They can't wait to be violated in each and every way for the rudiments of this world. So godly men, real men, have to stay vigilant, never compromising our code of conduct, never compromising our ethics. Now, and I mean that in many ways. Every man got to have morals and guidelines and standards that he live by. You got to have rules and regulations that govern you as a man. There got to be certain things that you just won't do. Like, hold up, nah, I have morals. That's breaking the code. Now, I don't deal with women in that way. I'm not going to sit here and treat a daughter of Zion like a harlot and pay for her, because that's part of my rules and regulations and my covenant and my bond that I have with the Heavenly Father that I won't break. And you got to be very stern about what your rules are as a man. Certain things you just can't compromise. You can't be one of those guys, no matter how much temptation comes. You can't be one of those guys that's going to, you know, deal with your homeboy's girlfriend or wife because she batting her eyes at you, making you feel a certain way. No matter how much temptation is in this earth, you as men cannot compromise that. You can't do it, because the only way that they can stop us as men is they stick out their olive branch of debauchery and filth, and they drag us into their ways of life. That's the only way they can stop the men of valor, the men of courage, is through temptation. So, you know, it's very important for us men to be stern, to be very adamant in what our belief system is, and have a code of conduct, have ethics, be about something. Put respect on your name. You know, be known for your name, not what you have, not how much money you got, not, you know, what your so-called social status is. Be built on a strong foundation. What your name is. How do you treat other people? It's about how you treat other people. How do you treat your brothers? Do you keep it solid with them? Are you 100? If you got an issue with someone, do you bring it to them? Or do you talk about them behind their backs? Look, as men, you got to be real, man. You got to be 100. A lot of people end up dying in the streets because they got loose lips. Remember, loose lips sink ships. If you don't know how to hold your own and keep it solid and keep it 100, when you dealing with your brothers, you bound to get caught slipping off your bases. You bound to get a bullet in your head. You bound to get your ass whipped in the streets. Why? Because you ain't keeping it solid. You're not keeping it real around individuals. So, you know, you got to be resilient as men. And, you know, I'm going to go into some scriptures today, but I'm also going to bring a source to show you all that the battle against masculinity is very real. I want to go to Candace Owens. The source I'm going to is New Breed Green Light News. There was a video clip of Candace Owens speaking about the emasculation of our men. I want to play this particular clip and then chime in on it, because what she's saying is absolutely the truth. Hopefully y'all can see this. If you can't, I'm pretty sure you'll be able to hear the audio. Also hit the thumbs up on the video. These are the type of videos that you won't see being popular, because there's a battle against men and masculinity. You know, they want everybody, they want all men to be delicate. They want men to be flaming flamingos. They want men to be influenced by the likes of Lil Nas X out here. And I'm talking about young men, because once you a man, you a man. None of that stuff can influence you whatsoever. But I'm saying these young men, these men who haven't even had a chance to come to their full kingship and rulership, already being influenced by the filth. So let's play this from Candace Owens. It says, Candace Owens speaks on the attack on masculinity. And it's a sunny, bright day, so hopefully you can see it. If you can't, You should be able to hear it. Hold on one moment.
I think it's a self-perpetuating problem, meaning that there are crappy men in the world, right? But men are crappy because we've created a system where manhood has become obsolete. We keep increasingly telling men more and more they can't matter. When I say, who are they being told that by? You know, there, like I said, there's more sinister implications here of why we're making manhood obsolete. When we're saying masculinity is wrong, this is backwards. You don't need a man. You can just have a baby without a man. You're starting to see that sort of programming happening with young women. Why is society communicating to men to be more feminine at the same time that you're telling women to be more masculine, right? That's like, just take a step back and think. You don't have to like Candace Owens. Take a step back and to go, that is kind of weird, right? It is a bit weird that you're telling men, oh, all displays of masculinity are wrong and you need to be more feminine, and telling men they can bend gender and do all of these things while at the same time you're saying to a woman, you need to man up, you need to provide, you need to do this, you need to do that. That tells you that there's something satanic going on.
She said that tells you that there's something satanic going on. And she made some key points in a short amount of time. You know, a lot of young ladies these days, they believe that it is normal to raise a child without a father figure. They believe it's normal. They believe that they can do all things by themselves. They don't need a man to guide their children. They don't need a man to guide their daughters or sons, because a man is just as important in that household for young ladies and young men. I'm talking about sons and daughters. A man is just as important as the mother. You understand? Just as important. It goes into a lot of variables when it comes to how they grow and how they view the world in general. And you got a lot of young ladies in particular being raised thinking they don't need no man. And Candace Owens goes on to say that there's something very satanic about that. And there's a reason why she said that. Y'all got to understand, according to the Bible says that the Most High is a man of war. A man. A man. So if you're attacking masculinity, that means you have an issue with God. Because masculinity is the ultimate symbolism of purity. Why you think on the Arm and Hammer sign, with the man holding the hammer, it says purity underneath? Because a masculine man is purity, ladies and gentlemen. It represents purity. It is purest form, because a man of war created everything. There's nothing more pure about that. There's nothing more pure about the ultimate creator of the universe being a masculine entity and force, because it took force to bring forth this colossal universe that we dwell in. It took masculinity, it took strength, it took courage, it took valor. So, you know, the battle is real. It's satanic. You living in a nation that hates God. Therefore they hate men. They hate the direction and correction that a father can give their children. They hate the direction and correction that a man can give a wife. They need a feminine society because they can't control a masculine society. That's why you have all this biochemical warfare through the food, genetically modified foods. You got the soy products and typically everything that's destroying the testosterone in men. You got this whole campaign being ran where they want men to stop eating meat. They want everybody to stop eating meat, and men in particular, because they don't want that flesh, that power that actually comes from the animal. Not talking about the blood that comes from the animal, because you know the Bible tells us not to eat the blood, but they don't want the brute force muscle and strength that comes from that animal. See, we used to kill and eat. We used to hunt and eat our food. You understand? They don't want that primal instinct. There's a primitive instinct that comes when you eat meat, especially if you hunted it. But these are the things, these are the principles that they don't want society to be adhering to. There's a reason why they're trying to get society to stop eating meat, and they want to genetically modify and create laboratory meat. It's a reason why they don't want our people growing crops. They don't want no one growing crops, putting out Monsanto seeds and things of that nature. There's a reason why. There's a reason why you go to the marketplace and there's no seeds in the vegetation. There's no seeds in the fruit. This is all biochemical warfare. They want to be able to feed you things that take away the masculinity. But listen, here's the thing. The Bible tells us we can eat poison and we can still outgrow that and overcome that and transcend what they try to poison us with. So don't get it twisted. When you follow the Most High, can't nothing stop you as a man or a woman if you following the man of the Most High or your husband of the Most High. All right? Now let's get into some scriptures here. Because, you know, regardless of how a lot of people, a lot of sisters in particular may feel about Candace Owens, and a lot of brothers as well, they call her a coon because she's married to a Caucasian man. Listen, do I agree with interracial marriage and dating? No, not according to my Bible. We shouldn't be doing that. But at the end of the day, you take the information you get from people. You extract what you get from people. And although she's married to a Caucasian man, listen, if he was to come into the truth today or tomorrow, if he was to follow this biblical truth and became a man of God, or he may already be, I don't know the man, I won't have nothing to say about it. And that's just how I feel about that. Now, let's continue here. Let's talk about men of the Most High. Now, we're talking about remaining resilient. There's a lot going on that attack masculinity, to attack men being in a household. You got the circuit court system or the family court system. You got them dividing and conquering families. There's a lot to overcome, brothers. And you got to be resilient. You can't quit. You can't stop at nothing. And I'm going to go into the scriptures about our resilience, about not backing down when our back is against the wall. Yeah. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. I am sorry about that. Y'all go ahead and make sure. See, this will resilience kick in. This will resilience kick in, right? Y'all go ahead and get the thumbs up on this particular video. Let's see. Let me see if I can adjust this thing a little bit. All right. Let's go into this info, this biblical info. 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 9. For we are laborers together with the Most High. Ye are God's husbandry. Ye are God's building. You are God's husbandry. You are God's building. Brothers, you are God's husbandry. Now, what does that mean? You are the fathers of this earth. Just like he's the father of heaven, you are the fathers of this earth. Men, when you was born with testicles, and they put the little blue onesie on you, it was already ordained when you came out of the womb that you would be a father figure for this earth, that you would be a man. It was great honor when you was born a man. That's why when you check the census, right, they do census on this every year, there is way less men born. There's way less male childs born than female childs. So when you get a boy, when you are blessed with a male child, that is a supreme blessing from the heavens, because it doesn't happen that much. You know, you can have, I mean, it happens. Some people are blessed more than others. Don't get it twisted. I know people that got 4 and 5 boys in a row. That just means they extra blessed. But it doesn't happen as much as it happens with young girls. But when you get that young soldier is part of the husbandry of God. All right, let's go into some more scriptures here. Let's continue here. Philippians. Philippians chapter 2, verse 12, and it reads, "Wherefore, my beloved, as ye have always obeyed, not in my presence only, but not much more in my absence, work on your own salvation with fear and trembling." Listen, not only when you in the council of godly men, not only when you in the presence and in the presence of the Most High, no matter where you go, you still got to be working out your own soul salvation with fear and trembling. Meaning you're still supposed to fear the Almighty, brothers. You're supposed to fear the Almighty, you know, wherever you go. And it also says work out your own salvation. Now, what that means is every single man has the spiritual authority to go directly to Christ. You know, yes, there are men that can help guide and lead you to the Messiah, which is salvation. Christ, our big brother, he is salvation. He is the truth, the way, and the light. But every man has that spiritual authority to go there. It doesn't have to be a man over you. You know, I had an interesting comment from a subscriber yesterday on yesterday's stream. I hope y'all caught that stream. It was absolutely powerful. It was a subscriber, happened to be a male. His name was Yowanathan Israel. I'm gonna have to put you on blast. He watches the video and he goes and says, "New breed." What he says is in the chat, he goes, you know, he brings forth, I guess he was referring to myself. He goes, he brings forth a lot of truth. You know, he brings forth a lot of truth, but it's something about him that I just can't put my finger on. You know, he's sneaky. It's something about him. I just don't know what it is. You know, when I read that comment, I was a little bit disgusted that a grown man was talking like that. And it got me thinking, like, men really need a pep talk. The reason why a man would say something like that, the reason why a man would make a comment like that is because that man is looking for another man to be their salvation. He's not really seeking salvation for himself. He's too busy watching other men. He's not just getting the information I'm bringing. He's too busy watching the man and not getting the information. You understand? And that's a real issue with us as men. Like, we are too busy dealing with the individual who's delivering the message and trying to find fault in your brother, because that is literally trying to find fault in your brother. We're too busy trying to do that than work out our own salvation. We be having issues on our own. Every man have issues. You shouldn't be looking for New Breed to be your salvation at all. You know, you shouldn't be looking for me to lead you a damn place but closer to Christ. That's all, and that's it, folks. And when you got grown-ass men, wow, this thing is really acting up. Let me see. Let me take this part out. When you have grown-ass men, that's better, right? When you have grown-ass men, right? And these grown-ass men, what happened? It looked like it's zoomed in. Let me see. It definitely zoomed in, but it's okay. When you have grown men looking for other men to be their salvation, they're not working out their own salvation with fear and trembling. Let's continue. Let me see. Let me see if I can adjust this. I apologize for the technical difficulties. It looks like my selfie stick broke midstream, so I'm gonna have to get another one. Let's see if I can. Let's see. Yeah, the thing broke midstream, but it's all good. Things happen, right? Y'all bear with me. I apologize. We're not going. Let's see. All right. It is what it is, right, people? Y'all make sure y'all hit the thumbs up. All right, we're just gonna have to keep it low like that. I'm gonna have to let gravity help me out here. But still, in all, y'all hit the thumbs up if you still gaining edification here. And you know, it's interesting that we talking about resilience, because sometimes, man, this is a prime example. This is actually a blessing in disguise. In the midst of us talking about resilience, we experiencing technical difficulties with the equipment and whatnot. And you know what we doing? We pushing forward. We ain't gonna let anything stop the word of the Most High getting out. That's what resilience is all about. Let's continue. 1 Corinthians 15 and 56, or 58, pardon me. 1 Corinthians 15 and 58. And it reads, "Therefore, my beloved brethren, be ye steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, for as much as ye know that your labor is not in vain in the Lord." Whoa, ain't that resilience right there? Let me read that one more time. We got to hear that again. "Therefore, my beloved brethren, be ye steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, for as much as ye know the labor is not in vain in the Lord." Listen, when you doing the Most High's work, when you fulfilling your purpose, when you're obedient to his word, the labor is never in vain. I don't care if it's 1 million people listening or 3 people listening. Every time you doing the work of the Most High and you trying to spread the word and spread the message, hey, your labor don't go in vain. It don't go in vain at all. The Most High is always going to bless you for what you're doing righteous. If your motives are correct, always check your motives and thoughts. Hit the thumbs up on this video, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all get this video, spread it too. Because, you know, I don't understand why we got, you know, thus amount of people and, you know, less than half people are liking the video when y'all see that this is positivity. Let me find out that we got some closet feminists watching just to find out if I'm going to disrespect feminists or disrespect, you know, your people, because that's not what this stream is about. All right? It's not what this is about. This is for men. All right? Now, let's continue. We got some more scriptures to go to. Psalms chapter 1, verse 1. "Blessed is the man that walketh in the counsel. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor stand in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. Blessed is the man that walk not in the counsel of sinners." And that goes into the temptations. The temptations as men. They're everywhere. There's so many people that would like to steal your peace and joy, brothers. There's so many people that would like to stop you from being men. You're living in a society that frowns upon men being men. You live in a society where it's gotten so bad that most women, they don't really want a manly man, you know. And that's a sad it's a sad situation, and it's sad that I gotta say that, but it's true. And I'm talking about most women, not godly women, not women of the Most High, not righteous women, not Proverbs 31 women, not feminine women, but I'm talking about most women in this current society. They don't want a man who is masculine. They want a man that's like one of the homegirls. Yeah. I mean, I hate to say this, but it's true. They want a man that's like one of the homegirls that is emotional. They want a man who really has toxic masculinity. Everything is in reverse, ladies and gentlemen. You'll have people say that what New Breed to the World Over is saying right now in regards to men and biblical patriarchy and righteous rulership and men being husbands and fathers and leaders, they'll say that's toxic masculinity. No, that's godliness. Real toxic masculinity is what women are actually attracted to. A lot of women are attracted to toxicity. Yeah. I know you brothers know what it is, and I gotta let you know so you can be aware. There's a lot of women who like emotional men. They don't like men who have their feelings under control. They don't like men who are stern and fervent with their beliefs. They don't like men who practice monotony. And not monogamy, I said monotony. Meaning they do the same thing day in and day out because it builds discipline. You know, men who have a routine. Women, there's a lot of modern women who don't like men who have a routine because they find that to be what, brothers? They find that to be boring, right? They find that to be boring. They want a man who doesn't have his emotions under control. They want a man who is quick to lash out. They want a man who is in the streets one day, in the house the next day, back to the streets the next day. They don't want a man with a routine. The reason why is because they want excitement. They think that it's excitement. Not even realizing that that man not having his self under control, not exemplifying masculinity, not personifying righteousness, really what it's doing is it's leading the whole household to a downward spiral. All right? It's making toxicity. And, you know, some women are attracted to it. Most women in modern society are attracted to it. It's draining the energy from everyone in the house. But, you know, that's what they want. They want someone where they don't understand. They're a different person every day. They don't want a masculine man who understands what's going on in the world and where they're going. So you brothers got to look out for that because some of these women will tempt you. There's a lot of temptation. Some of these women tempt you because they miss that fatherly. They're missing that fatherly dynamic that they never had. But when they get it, they don't know what to do with it. Are you understanding me, brothers? There's a fatherly dynamic that some of these sisters are missing. They're not ready for it, but they desire it. They're longing for it. It's deep down inside them. But a lot of women, they're not worthy of having that. And I hate to say that because it's the truth. They're longing for it, but they don't know what to do when they get it. Because they're so used to ruling things. They're so used to controlling things. They're so used to thinking like a man. They're so used to having control and rulership. They're so used to dealing with these dumbass men, these weak men, these pathetic men, these men who are not masculine whatsoever, not men of truth, not men of courage, not men who represent anything. They're so used to dealing with those worthless thugs that when they get a man that's about something, they don't even know how to deal with it. They don't, brothers. And you know, you got to teach them. You got to show them what they've been lacking. You got to be patient if that woman has the potential. Because this society done a lot of damage to our women. See, this ain't about just beating on our chest, King Kong, letting our nuts swing. Oh, we the man. Oh, I'm a man, girl, obey me. It ain't about all that. Really, if men take their rightful position, it will actually help women. You understand? This is for the ladies. Once you allow nature to work itself out and you actually submit and say, you know what? I'm going to be cheerleaders for these gladiators. Because your men, especially you black ladies, you black women, your black men, listen, they the epitome. They the warriors. They all you got. You got to become cheerleaders. Men need encouragement. You got to get back to encouraging men of truth, men of valor, men of courage, men who have standards. Men who ain't out here living foul and wicked. Men need those cheerleaders. Those cheerleaders got to come back. Because men need their queens, man. So this not about just, oh, it's all about a man. Listen, the Most High created Eve for a reason. We need help. Men need help. We need that help from our women. We need the help. We need our women to back us up. You know? Let's continue. Let's go to Titus chapter 2, verse 7. In all things, showing thyself a pattern of good works, and doctrine showing uncorruptedness, gravity, and sincerity. Yes, brothers. Let's read that again. In all things, showing thyself a pattern of good works, and doctrine showing uncorruptedness, gravity, and sincerity. See, you know, we keep talking about motives. What is your heart saying? What do you want, brothers? Are you trying to be rich and famous? Are you trying to spread the word of the Most High God? What are you trying to do? You got to come with sincerity. Brothers, it's time that we become sincere. You got so many people out there that's just clout chasing, that want attention. You got so many people who operating in the vein of vanity. You got so many men out here who become lovers of themselves. I mean, it's all about themselves. You got so many men who have become braggers and boasters. You know why? Because they were never sincere. You know, I watched certain men of truth just become braggers and boasters. I watched them become just, I don't know, there's a spirit that takes over them where it's like, dude, don't you know if the Most High ain't bless you with utterance, with truth, that you wouldn't be a damn thing? You would be spittle. Nothing. So we always as men got to keep checking our hearts. But like, you know what? Am I doing this? Why am I doing certain things in life? You know, why am I dealing with this woman? Why do I want to work this particular job? Why do I want to work that particular job? Always question your motives for things. Why do I want to do this? Why do I want to do that? As men, it's important to always check your motives. Keep your motives in check as men. Always be sincere. Your balls and your words is all you got as a man. That's it. And what you say, if you sincere, if you speak from the heart, if you know what your motives are, every time you speak is coming from the heart, brothers. Every word that proceedeth out of your mouth comes from your soul, because you constantly checking your motives. You're sincere about your walk in truth. You sincere about getting closer to the Lord. You sincere about providing for your family in the best way you can. You sincere in raising your offspring to be strong, educated, knowledgeable, wise children, growing up to be wise adults and have a strong foundation. You're sincere. Sincerity goes a long way as a man, because look, you can't fool everybody all the time. You can't fool everybody all the time. You can fool man all day. I can get on this camera myself and give y'all word salad all day. Verbal diarrhea all day, right? But if my motives ain't right, then I can't fool God. That's one thing you got to know. You can't fool the Most High. You can fool everybody else, but you can't fool the Most High. Men, keep that in mind. Let's continue. Let's continue. It reads, 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 11. When I was a child, I spake as a child. I understood as a child. I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. Yeah, buddy. This would separate the men from the boys. When I was a child, I thought as a child. When I was a child, hell, during the summertime, I could sit around all day and play Xbox and PlayStation, right? As a child, I can run with my buddies all day and run the streets and have fun and turn up. But when you become a man, oh, you got to man up. You got to man up. Listen, the Bible tells us a man who don't provide for his household is worse than an infidel. So as a man, you can no longer do things that you did as a child. You got to grow. And sometimes old habits die hard. Sometimes you got to cast away certain things that's been a hindrance to you in life, brothers. Sometimes you got to weigh your options. Take the good and the bad, put it in a measuring cup and say, you know what? This right here, this particular habit, this particular vice, this is going to stop me from reaching my full potential. So I got to man up. Not only that, I can't talk as a child no more. I can't say the same things that I used to say when I was younger. I can't spew the same rhetoric out. I can't get away with it no more. It's no longer cute to be a grown-ass man talking about your childhood. It's no longer cute being a grown-ass man trying to still be a thug out here. It's no longer cute you being a grown-ass damn man on the block, posted up talking about the ops. You're a grown-ass man. It's time for you to man up. It ain't working no more. Listen, nobody gives a shit about what you've been through as a child. You was a child, bro. You a man now. I gotta tell you blunt like this. Nobody gives a rat's ass about how a man feels in his feelings. It comes across as effeminate. It comes across as weak. And it's counterproductive when it comes to leadership. When it comes to leadership and actually guiding our women. Some of you brothers think that your woman is your mama. She not your mama, bro. That woman is not your damn mama. You got mommy issues, you got daddy issues. Well, you better man up. You was a child then. Some of y'all brothers got your own babies. And you still talking about what happened when you was a child. It's time for you to break up out of that. The Bible tells us to cast down all imaginations of the past. Cast it down. Cast all that negativity, all that bullshit that happened to you. Listen, I don't care what you got to do. Take all your childhood memories, anything that remind you of your childhood, put that shit in a trash bag, take it in your backyard and set a bonfire to it. Do whatever it is you got to do to stop talking about things that happened to you in the past. It's counterproductive. It's time for us to lead. Listen, there's women who need healing. There's women who were touched in the wrong places. There's women who went through things. Guess what they need, brothers? They need men who can actually counsel them through it. As a man, it's your job to counsel your woman through the damage she's been through. How can you counsel her through the damage that she's went through if you still thinking as a child and you a man? How can you do that? You got to counsel her. Because women, you got to respect her. The Bible says respect her as the weaker vessel. Meaning, listen, it's not out of the ordinary for a woman to hold on to childhood traumas more than a man. Why? Because she's a weaker vessel. That's what the Bible says. So guess what? You got to be her strength, brothers. You got to be her strength and be like, look, baby, I know you've been through this with these guys, with that guy. I know you've been through this as a child, but look, this is the direction we going now. And now that you with a brother like me, this is how we moving. All right? Anytime you need a shoulder to lean on, I'm going to help you heal through that. Women need that, brother. She need her shoulder to lean on. That's just 100% facts right there. You thought as a child, now you a man. You a man now. You know, you got to let your sons know as well. Listen, let these young men know why they growing up. Listen, young man. This world don't give a shit about the feelings of you as a man. You was born a man. This world don't care about you and how you feel. This world don't give a damn about your emotions. You was born a man. You're going to be raised as a man. The world don't care. The world is unforgiving, son. All right? I know it sounds harsh, but it's true. It's true. And you know, that's the reason why young men need fathers in the house. Young ladies need it as well. Because some of these traumatic experiences that these young ladies go through, if they had that man in the house, they would have never happened, or that father would have been there to nip things in the bud, to help that young lady with her insecurities, to help that young man with his insecurities. to help that young lady understand what a righteous man is, so she can attract that type of man. Thank you for the $20 contribution. I appreciate that, Miss Boss Lady. Thank you for support. Thank you for your support. I appreciate it, sis. Let's continue. Let's go to 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 11. But thou, O man of God, flee the things and follow after righteousness, godliness, faith, love, patience, and meekness. Oh, but thou, O man of God, follow after things like righteousness, godliness, faith, love, patience, and meekness. That's what we're supposed to be following after, man of God. We're supposed to be very adamant about our peace. Brothers, peace is all you got. Serenity. Having that safe haven, having that space of refuge. That's all men got. Why you think it's so important for men to have man caves? You know, think about this. Think about the psyche of a man, right? Men need that place where they can go. Even if they don't have a man cave, they have to have a spot. All men have to have a spot. All right? It has to be a place where they can go where nobody else can go. You know what I'm saying? This is sealed off, nobody allowed. Listen, men need that time to unwind. They need that peace of mind. Ladies need it as well, don't get it twisted. But men face a lot. Men go through a lot. Sometimes that woman that man have can be his place of refuge, his peace. Sometimes that man need that woman who gonna rub his shoulders after a hard days of work. Sometimes a man need that woman who gonna cater to him. His woman, sometimes there's women that are men's safe place. You understand? Are that place where they can go like, you know what, man, I've been facing this world. You know, I need that peace. Straight up. Let's continue. Let's go to these scriptures. We going through them scriptures today. We doing this for all the men of God, man. All the men of God. Ezekiel 34 and 31. And ye my flock, the flock of my pasture are men, and I am your God, saith the Lord. It says the flock of my pasture are men, and I am your God, saith the Lord. Listen, the Most High God, when he chose you to be a man, he told Jeremiah, don't you know I formed thee in the womb? He chose you to be a warrior on this earth. He chose you to be a leader. He chose you to mirror your life after his son, after Christ. You're supposed to be a mirror image. You are supposed to be trying to dedicate your life to be Christ-like as men. We have great responsibilities as men. God, the Most High, that's the ultimate general. Timothy Tim V2, thank you for the $5 contribution. Says, I'm trying to multitask, but I can't step away from the facts. Absolutely, I got you. See, the spirit is operating right now. The spirit of the Most High is here in this live stream with us men right now. And you know, when men come together, iron sharpen iron. Fire Flame, thank you for the $25 contribution. She says, teach, with the flame emoji. All praises. Thank you, sister. Stephen Grandsville, what's up, brother? Thank you for the $20 contribution. Says, this video came at time I was suddenly facing temptation and helped me make a righteous decision. Thank you, Bree. All praises to the Most High Yah. All praises. All praises. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Thank you for your support. Let's go to these scriptures some more. Let's get it. Let's go. Proverbs 5 and 1. My son, attend unto my wisdom, and bow thine ears to thy understanding. My son, attend unto my wisdom, and bow thine ears to my understanding. Listen, it's a reason why we got 2 ears and 1 mouth. You know, often men of the Most High have we have a lot of times where we're quiet, we're silent. The Lord's prophets are always absorbing information. We're inclining our ear, and we're gathering information from everywhere. It's coming at us full-fledged. The Most High give us these downloads to teach our nation. And it's important to incline your ears to the Most High's wisdom. All right? Let's get it. Genesis chapter 1, verse 27. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created him. Male and female, he created them. Listen, the Most High God created us in his image. So when the Most High sees men, he sees himself. So when you're in a society that's trying to make it seem like men are just awful, it's toxic masculinity and all of that, listen, you're looking at a nation, you're looking at people who hate God. They resent the Father in heaven. So they definitely going to resent men. Their resent is for the Most High because it's sort of like this. When you raised in a household, let's use this as an example. When you raised in a household without a man, without a man, when you raised in a household without a man, you begin to resent men. Now let me explain this. You take God out of the system. You begin to resent that masculine entity, because now it gets to the point where you feel like nobody can tell you anything. Now you get into this rebellious spirit, right? Your spirit turns rebellious because you're not used to having authority over you. You're not used to that man in the house spanking your ass when you step out of line. So now when a man tries to tell you something, you reject it. Now you feel like, oh, you can't tell me nothing. Nah. Now the masculine energy becomes the enemy. And that's what you have in society. You got a bunch of sensitive ass people who don't like being corrected. You got a bunch of sensitive people who feel like you're judging them if you correct them. Even men. I'm talking about men and women have become real bitch made. Men and women. To the point where if you like, look, brother, I don't have time for the games. I'm gonna tell you, bro, you need to work on that. Nah, it is what it is. Nah. Man to man, real facts. Look, this is what it is, bro. You have men who get sensitive instead of listening. Like man to man, it shouldn't be a bunch of sensitivity out here. But since you got people who are not used to that masculinity, that energy, then they can't handle correction. And now every time you correct someone, you judgmental. And society have conditioned us this way. You live in a society where everybody gotta live and let live. Everybody just gotta live and let live. It's deemed hate if you correct people. And you see what happened. You see what type of society we got. Straight up Satanism. Let me see. Yeah, indeed. Let me see. We got a few more scriptures that we're going to go into. And y'all hit the thumbs up on the video if you gained edification. I did not expect this video to be one of my more popular videos because we know who the battle is against. They don't want us sharpening iron and helping our men to understand what our purpose is, right? Let's see. Going to these scriptures here. Now we're gonna go back to Timothy, 1 Timothy. We're going to 1 Timothy chapter 6. We're gonna read out of Timothy chapter 6 because there's some Jews up in here, bro. There's a lot of Jews up in Timothy chapter 6 for us brothers, man. We need to really read that. When you get a chance, read this whole chapter. 1 Timothy chapter 6. Let as many servants as are under the yoke count their own master worthy of all honor, that the name of God and his doctrine be not blasphemed. And they have believing masters, let them not despise them, because they are brethren. but rather to do them service because they are faithful and beloved partakers of the benefit. These things teach and exhort. If any man teach otherwise and consent not to wholesome words, even the words of Christ, and to the doctrine which is according to godliness, he is proud, knowing nothing, but doting about questions and strife of words, where cometh envy, strife, railing, evil, and surmising. Whoa. Oh, that's powerful right there. Now, what that means is you got to have respect for the standing army that the Most High have put in place. You got to have respect for it. You got to respect the generals, the elders, people who put in the work. And you got to respect everything in order as men. And the scriptures go on to say, if any man daunts from that, if any man dwindles from that belief, if any man loses respect for those who laid the groundwork and those men of the Most High, then they're going to get into envying. They're going to get into railing. They're going to get into gossiping. They're going to be, there's certain things that's going to happen to them. Matthew Harris, thank you for the contribution. $10. Keep up the good work. Word, all praises. Absolutely. Someone in the chat says obedience is better than sacrifice. I can dig that. Real truth right now coming out. And it says, if any man teach otherwise and consent not to wholesome words, even the words of our Lord Christ, and not to the doctrine which is according to godliness, he is proud, knowing nothing, and doting, and questions and strife of words. It says, perverse disputings of men corrupt minds, and destitute of the truth, supposing the gain is godliness. From such withdraw thyself. But godliness with contentment is great gain. Yep. For we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we will carry nothing out. And having food and raiment, let us be therewith content. So this is where it rewires us when it comes to our motives. This is where the Bible the Bible constantly rewires men, keeping your motives on track. It says, listen, with food, clothes, shelter, and raiment, be content. You come in this world butt-ass, butterball naked, with not a damn thing, and best believe you leaving this world without nothing. That's why you got to gear your minds, brothers, to the spiritual side of things. You got to gear your mind to the spiritual side of things. You got spiritual riches, and they waiting for you in the heavens. You understand me? They waiting for you in the heavens. And when you get into this railing and you're striving with the word, and you become, I would say, ambitious, but it's in a way that's not really healthy. You got unhealthy ambition. So now you going against this person and going against that person. You building a name for yourself off the name of this person, and you're railing and you're striving. Just look at Black YouTube. Just look at it. Look how all these men going against each other. Now let me make this clear. It's a difference. There's a difference when you have real men of the Most High challenging the talking points of these deceivers. It's a difference. Because guess what? As men of the Most High, remember, the Most High said he a man of war. In order for us to rise as men, some of our own people gonna get their ass ran over. All right? There was a lot of internal battles. There's always gonna be politics within Israel. We are men of war as well. And I'm gonna tell you right now, some of these content creators who are deceiving our women, deceiving our young brothers, they're gonna get rolled the hell over real soon. Because there's brothers that's sitting back watching. There's men of the Most High that's sitting back watching. You watching brothers extort our communities. Watching brothers deceive our women. Watch our brothers teach our brothers, young brothers, how to be whoremongers and liars. And we sitting back watching. And best believe, hey, we cocking back and we about ready to throw that punch and give you the kill blow. Because listen, there's gonna be many of these people we gotta watch fade away. Because they're deceivers, they're devils. You know? And you got a lot of content creators that they better not ever mutter my name. They better not ever, my name better not ever slip out their mouth. Because best believe you're gonna see the man of war come up out of me. Believe that. Believe that. You're gonna see it come out. And you're gonna know what God I serve. You're gonna know what God I serve. And it ain't nothing new. It ain't nothing new when it comes to exposing these damn content creators. I done it before. And listen, I done it and ruined people. And don't get it twisted. If you come between our nation and building our people up and our people coming into righteousness, these laws, statutes, and commandments, if you get in the way of that, better believe you're gonna get ran over by this freight train here. I dare you. I dare either one of you content creators. You could subliminal all you want, but if you step in front of the God that I'm serving, Lord have mercy on your soul. You done picked the right one that day. Because really, we tired of y'all lying to the people. We tired of y'all lying to the people. We tired of y'all dating coaches, teaching brothers how to be whoremongers. We tired of y'all disrespecting and dishonoring our women without teaching them. Nah, we tired of that. We real tired of that. Believe that. And real men, what the Bible say, we the husbandry. We the husbandry of this earth. We the fathers of this earth. Better believe the fathers of this earth really about to make a stand against y'all. So when we talk about war, that's what we talking about. And all my real brothers gonna be riding right on with me too. Yeah, and I know it. And there's an army that y'all don't even see. There's an army of the Most High's men that y'all don't even see. Because everything ain't meant to be televised. Everything ain't meant to be televised. See these little chumps who like to come together and do they little sneak dissing and coming together on these little shows and all of that. Yeah, we see them too. We see them too. Y'all don't want to see the men of the Most High come together though. Absolutely not. They don't want to see it. Somebody said that's the reason why you are here, bro. But I wouldn't use profanity with the Bible in hand. Listen, this whole damn English language is profane. The whole English language is cursed. It's just an undesirable word, that's all. This whole language is a curse. This ain't our original language. It's just a word that seems undesirable to you. Who told you that was a curse word? Whatever word I used. There's a difference between cussing and cursing. You can curse somebody without saying or using undesirable language. You can curse somebody by saying, you know, I hope you die tonight and you go to hell. That's a curse. Me using undesirable language, just it is what it is. No, I'm telling y'all because, you know, yeah, we all about peace. We all about our we all about staying in our lane. But I'm gonna tell you, some of these content creators, they disgust me. They disgust me. A lot of them, they quit. Some of them, man, they got their ass wide open trying to sell their soul. They throwing all kind of hints. They throwing all kind of hints to the satanic powers that they ready to get violated. Straight up. And you got this one dude. He talking about the Baphomet. You know, he talking about the Baphomet is a good thing. All while he's trying to lead our people. Telling you, bro, these people can't wait. They can't wait. They can't wait to sell out. They can't wait to hit a certain number. And I'm gonna tell you, these world powers, they are watching YouTube for certain people that they're gonna bring up next. They know that there's a gateway to come up and be the next guy on TV or the next guy with his own radio show or the next guy that has a big platform. They know it. So they throwing all kind of hints to these world powers. They can't wait. So what they doing now is they competing with the real men of the Most High. They competing with the real men of the Most High to, I guess, take our talking points and steal talking points from us, and then use those talking points to reach a higher level. Listen, real brothers of the truth. We not trying to reach Hollywood. We not trying to get signed by labels. We're not trying to be on damn Vlad TV. We're not trying to do all that. I don't care about being on World Star. I done been viral so many times. You know why World Star won't pick me up? Because they already know where I stand. This is spiritual, bro. This is spiritual, bro. I'm not trying to be a part of that. I'm happy with food, clothes, shelter, and raiment. I'm happy reaching the people I can reach. So you little sellouts and weirdos, make sure my name don't come out your mouth on your way to selling out. Cause I'm damn sure gonna destroy you. Real talk. Anybody who, any man, all right, I'm gonna be quiet, bro. I ain't gonna say no more regarding it. Y'all see these content creators stealing talking points and trying to use it to rise up. Y'all rise all you want, just don't say my name. That's all I'm saying. Then you gonna see the man of war come out. And I ain't scared of none of yous. Somebody said you can't even say corrupted phrases accidentally if you talking to a demon. Nah, ain't no corrupted phrase. They literally got their legs open. Some of these content creators, these men, they literally got their legs open, bent over, waiting for Satan to put them on. Literally. They literally got their legs open like a bitch, bent over, waiting for Satan to put them on, bro. They can't wait to bend over the damn desk for a deal, for a radio deal and all that. They can't wait. Straight up. I'm telling you, some of the most popular ones, bro. Some of the popular ones, bro. Shh. Some of the popular ones. Y'all gonna see what I'm talking about. Y'all gonna see what I'm talking about. For real. And they know it. They know it. They can't wait. Yeah. What they do is they get on here and they do as much damage they can to the black community as they can, because they know that's where the incentives come in. They feed off the dysfunction of the black community as much as they can, because that's where the reward is. Anybody who eats off our people by deceiving them, by leading them astray, by separating man and woman, by anybody who's doing that, they will be awarded by Satan, and they're gonna be sitting on somebody's casting couch, because YouTube is the new TV right now. YouTube is the new breeding grounds for new stars. You understand? And everybody, and I'm gonna tell you, everybody's trying to fulfill that Derrick Jackson slot, because Derrick Jackson, he got his ass just exposed for the hypocrite he is, and it's hard for him to bounce back from that. So now you got people trying to fill those shoes. But I'm telling you, brother, these YouTube streets, it's something else, bro. It's something else, bro. These people ready. They ready to be the next hot thing. These people ready to meet up with Tyler Perry. Bruh, I just stay in my lane, bro. They can't wait. Y'all think these celebrities don't watch these channels? Keep thinking that. Keep thinking they not watching this content. Looking for who they gonna bring to the couch. It's a dirty, dirty game out here. Y'all better be careful of what you're listening to. Be careful of what you taking in your mind. Listen to what brothers be saying. Don't listen with your emotions. Don't listen to your feelings. Even ladies that's watching, don't listen to how articulate somebody is. Listen to what they're saying. Listen to the message, overall message. Because these people something else, bro. They something else. Tell you that much. Don't let these people keep on feeding off our dysfunctions. If they ain't giving you nothing, listen, if you're not watching their videos and it's not requiring you to make a change in your life and go in the right direction, if it's not requiring you to look on the outside looking in and it's making you a better person, then look, what you listening to, it just ain't it. It ain't it. It ain't it, bro. I'm tired of these damn YouTubers stealing our talking points. There's a few brothers, a handful of brothers who've been speaking on polygyny, for an example. There's only a handful of brothers that have been speaking on polygyny. Now, all of a sudden, all these people who don't even believe in the Bible trying to talk about polygyny. Oh, monogamy versus polygyny. Listen, you Negroes are something else. Y'all wasn't speaking in regards to polygyny when brothers was getting their channels flagged, when everybody was pissed off, when everybody was coming up against brothers, when it wasn't popular. I've been doing this since 2009. My first video about polygyny was in 2009. 2009, bro. That was the first video I did on polygyny. Back in 2009. I was in an ashy ass basement. I remember it like it was yesterday. I was in an ashy ass basement with I ain't even have 2 nickels to rub together, and I was talking about polygyny from a biblical perspective. The hell up out of here. Now you got all these people trying. The hell out of here. If you ain't coming with that Bible, you irrelevant. Thanks for the $10 contribution. Jukebox says, "A new breed. What is the doctrine of Freemasonry, and what is it really about?" Listen, Freemasonry is a fraternal order. It's a secret society. You know, the Most High God don't operate in secrecy. Anybody who operate in secrecy got to be of who? The devil, right? They do rituals. It's like a boys club. It's like a boys club for prominent figures in your community. All right? It's all satanic and demonic. All right? They like to recruit people for various reasons, you know? But that's the most I want to say about that. Yeah, anything that's done in the dark, why trust it? When the Most High, everything he do, he operate in the light, right? Yeah, man. Y'all know what it is, man. Somebody said the highest level known is Satanists. The lower level don't always know what they're doing. They can get into 33rd degree unless they can accept Lucifer. Yeah, that's a fact, though. They don't get to the 33rd degree unless they accept Lucifer. That's true. Somebody said you're a good man. Thank you. I appreciate that. All praises to the Most High God. That Bible will make a man out of you. I'll tell you that much. The Bible will make a man out of you. Once upon a time, I was lost, poor, blind, and naked. Didn't know a damn thing. You know, just like anybody else who was a product of this wicked ass system that we dwell in. Thank you for the $5 contribution. Says New Breed, you're one of the channels that brought me to the truth. Respect you. I'm a young man trying to walk in the light. Love you, bro. Love you too, brother. And thank you for the contribution. Highly appreciate it. Highly appreciate it. But it is what it is, man. You know, I love y'all, man. I thank y'all for y'all continual support. If you would like to get exclusive content, the link to my Patreon is down in the description box. Also, follow me on Instagram at newbreed404. And if you would like to donate because you find value in this content, Cashapp is in the description box. It's $newbreed404. 10% of all contributions go back to you, the people. People who are in need of groceries, lunch money, gas money, things of that nature. I send it right back. You understand? Got to do my part. But I love each and every one of y'all. Thank y'all for subscribing. Thank y'all for following. Peace to all of y'all. Have a blessed day. With that being said, shalom and peace.